All right, my fellow financially fabulous, or at least aspiring to be folks. Let's get down to brass tacks. Many of you hit me up asking for the secret sauce to making serious bank, and I tell you the truth, but honestly, most of you don't even believe me. It is wild. They just don't get it. Old heads out there, they probably think we're all just lounging around living our best, most stress-free lives. But let me tell you, the reality is, we're probably the most generationally stressed bunch out there. And it is because a lot of people, even now, don't quite grasp this one simple truth. You can literally do nothing, absolutely nothing, all day long, and still end up with zero rest, zero chilled. Like, how does that even compute, right? It sounds totally counterintuitive, the kind of downtime most of us are indulging in these days. It is like taking a quick weekend getaway, but you're stuck with your most degenerate buddies. You know, the ones who convince you to rent an Airbnb, take Monday off work. So you snagged a sweet 3-day weekend, you come back on Tuesday, and do you feel refreshed, recharged, like a new person? Or do you feel like a mere shadow, a hollowed-out version of the person who blissfully skipped out of work on Friday? It was a total bender, a complete and utter blur. That is exactly what is happening with your everyday downtime, your so-called relaxation. I genuinely believe that knowing how to truly chill, how to genuinely relax in this crazy year of 2026 is a legitimate skill, a super valuable one at that. Apologies if my voice sounds a bit more fried than usual today. It is not ideal, but as I'm recording this, my beloved Knicks, they're up by 20 points in the finals. Can you even believe it? And the way we've been celebrating. Oh man, you'd swear I was actually on the team, like I was out there on the court draining those three-pointers myself. So yeah, me voice is a casualty of victory, but hey, no regrets. So I'm really sorry about the vocal cords. But let's just dive right into this. I'm gonna break this video down into two main parts. First up, we're hitting the chud science section, which, in my humble opinion, is actually the more crucial part. It's the stuff that makes you go, huh, never thought of it that way. And then, we'll swing into some real bro science territory, talking about things like heart rate variability, or HRV, and the enigmatic nervous system. Because trust me, that stuff is equally, if not more, important for your overall well-being and your bottom line, believe it or not. First things first. Before we can even begin to talk about the art of chilling, the absolute prerequisite is to fix our mindsets, my friends, seriously. Because if you're one of those self-help junkie types, the kind who feels a pang of guilt, a constant nagging worry, every single second you're not actively doing something productive, or crafting some memorable experience, or even just thinking about doing something productive, then, my friend, you've been totally compromised. You've been swallowed whole by big self-help, by the huge, overbearing influence of folks like Andrew Huberman. And listen, that is perfectly fine. Because I'm literally describing myself right here, right now. So I totally get it. I understand that struggle on a deeply personal level. This constant pressure, this relentless need to always be on and productive. It used to haunt me, and honestly, to some extent, it still does. I think it's because I genuinely spent so many years doing absolutely nothing, that now, when I actually try to do nothing, this intense, irrational inner guilt just bubbles up. It's a real mental battle. But this mindset, this relentless pursuit of constant productivity, it just ends up messing you up. It genuinely harms your progress, your peace, and ultimately your ability to earn. Because if we want to get all scientific, all chatology about it, even if you're constantly telling yourself that every single second needs to be optimized, needs to be peak performance, if you're never getting any real rest, if you're never truly relaxing, then you'll never ever know what it genuinely feels like to operate at 100%. You'll never reach your full potential because your nervous system, that intricate, delicate network, it will never, ever, get the break it so desperately craves. And the nervous system, I'm absolutely convinced, is the ultimate key, my friends, the master switch. If you can somehow manage to get your nervous system under control right now, this very moment, you can get anything, and I mean anything, else in your life under control. It is that powerful. But let's kick things off with what I affectionately call chud science. Because even though there is absolutely zero, like literally no actual scientific evidence to fully support these claims I'm about to make, I don't need it. I have something far more potent. I have spiritual evidence. It is a gut feeling, a deep knowing that resonates. So, the main thing, in my opinion, that actively prevents our generation from properly recharging, from truly getting that deep restorative rest, is what I'm going to label divided consciousness. Think about it. Back in the good old days, when your ancestors were done with a long, grueling day of farming or whatever incredibly demanding tasks they were doing, they literally had no choice but to power their brains down afterwards. What else were they going to do, seriously? There was nothing else to even do. no glowing screens, no endless feeds, just peace. But for us, after a long, and let's be real, potentially incredibly stressful day at work, what do we immediately do? Or monkey brains, bless their little hearts. They do not view simultaneously ripping coding, while also attempting to listen to some complex thought-provoking podcast, as genuinely relaxing. It just doesn't compute for them. So during this precious free time, this supposed downtime, when your mind should ideally be getting a much-needed breather, you're actually putting your brain, your nervous system, to even more work, all so you can endlessly stimulate yourself on your phone. And this, my friends, this right here, has been nothing short of life-changing for me, this profound realization that when I'm trying to do two things at once, or even just contemplating doing two things at once, my Zoomer brain might momentarily feel pretty good. It might feel engaged, but it is absolutely categorically not resting. It is just more stimulation, more work. Think about singular consciousness, like driving, super relaxing, right? It's just you, the road, the flow, total peace. But the very second I throw on some music, which I absolutely love to do, cruising down the FDR blasting some epic tunes, the moment I do that, I'm now effectively doing two things at once. And suddenly, it is no longer that pure, unadulterated relaxation. It just isn't. I instantly lose that singular focus, that incredibly precious state that genuinely recharges my brain. And I know, I might just be incredibly fried for taking so long to finally realize this profound truth. But I honestly feel like a huge number of people still haven't quite picked up on this yet. It's a silent drain. In order to truly recharge your brain, to get that deep restorative rest, you absolutely have to focus your consciousness, your entire mental energy, on one single thing. Just one. As a generation, though, we have sadly lost the natural ability to do that. We get bored. We actively try to avoid boredom and silence, when in reality, boredom and silence are precisely the things our brains desperately need. It is like a nutrient our minds are starved of. And my theory, my deep, unshakable theory, is this: active, even casual use of social media. It makes singular consciousness virtually impossible, seriously. Even if you're not mindlessly scrolling all day long, even if you just quickly peeped your feed for 2 minutes before jumping into something else, it still breaks that precious focus. And I gotta be completely real with all of you. I'm always on here preaching about deleting Instagram and all that blah blah blah, because when I finally did it, it genuinely transformed my life. It was a revelation. But then, a few weeks ago, I succumbed. I re-downloaded it like a total chud, a complete fool. And I even talked to you guys about it. It was all because of a girl. I bit the apple. All for a girl. Imagine that. Me, the guy who constantly warns against this digital poison. But I knew deep down, how truly awful this thing was for my mental state. And I still irrationally re-downloaded it. I just wanted to see what I had missed, what had transpired over the past couple of months. It had been almost an entire year since I last had it. So there I was, back on Instagram, mindlessly scrolling through the lives of people I still, to this day, don't really care about. And, I started opening up all those reels, the ones my boys had been sending into the void, into the digital abyss, for the past year. And instantly, I felt myself plummet into a dark place, a really low frequency. I could feel myself slipping back into my old, frazzled mindset. And the reason I'm even telling you all of this is because I only had it downloaded for a mere 2 days, just 48 hours. And in those 2 days, I felt such an intense wave of stress washing back over me. Stress that I hadn't felt in so long. It was shocking, because singular consciousness, that precious state of focused calm, had become such an integral part of my daily life that I now viscerally felt what it was like to lose it. It was like a physical ache. So for those 48 hours, I swear to you, I wasn't at ease. Not once, not for a single moment, and maybe, just maybe, I'm more susceptible to this digital poison than you might be. But dude, I genuinely thought I was having some kind of manic episode. It was that intense. And then, I checked my Whoop, which, by the way, this is absolutely not sponsored. Just so we're clear, the thing with the Whoop, it is pretty decent for checking stuff like this. But man, you lose a ton of your aura just obsessing over it. Anyway, it was like, yo, your stress levels are up 350%. 350. So it wasn't just me being dramatic. It wasn't just my imagination. Me nervous system was actually taking a massive hit, a serious beating, And it is the exact same story with dating apps, with endless notifications. It could even be something as seemingly innocuous as a Gmail alert. These things, they relentlessly pull your consciousness away. Okay, they're like these tiny, insidious little rats that spawn in your brain, and throughout the entire day, they're constantly whispering, Yo, 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 check your phone, bro. Check your DMs, check your notifications, the cheese, the cheese. I smell the cheese. It is a constant, unrelenting assault on your focus. So I finally deleted that insidious portal to the underworld. And now I feel much more comfortable quoting the great Socrates again. Like you know, he has this profound quote. It is something along the lines of, when a man begins to give in to his desires towards something, it is like he is digging a hole in a beautiful, pristine spring, and all the precious water, all the life force, starts to flow less towards all the other vital aspects of his life. And obviously, I'm totally paraphrasing here, like a fry cook. Quick order cook. But I genuinely felt this happening to me in real time. It was a visceral experience because for me, the ultimate goal, the entire objective, is to keep that water flowing. Bro, to keep my energy, my focus, my life force flowing freely. That is precisely why I need relaxation. That is why I need to truly chill. That is why I need to actively avoid all these insidious things that poke massive holes in my mental and emotional tank. Pause. I don't even think that is sketchy. I don't know why I even said pause. But things that are truly, genuinely relaxing. They're surprisingly simple. Dude, it really can be anything, as long as it is just one thing, just a singular focus. And again, first and foremost, you absolutely have to tell yourself that you deserve to be chilling. You have to give yourself permission. Because if you don't do this, if you're constantly thinking, oh, I should be doing this right now, or oh, I should be out doing that instead. There goes your singular consciousness, bro, poof, gone. There goes the water. All of a sudden, you're stressing out for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Again, this is yet another compelling reason to delete Instagram. Seriously, it is like, I don't want to see what everyone else is doing with their lives. Especially during my precious free time, the very time when I'm supposed to be genuinely chilling. It is a distraction, a thief of peace. And this, my friends, this is precisely why meditation is so incredibly important to me. It is why I try to plug that stuff into as many of my videos as humanly possible, because it is what finally tapped me into true, singular focus. It was like a secret handshake with my own mind. It genuinely showed me that letting go, that release, is a skill, a tangible skill that I can actually get better at. I can actively improve, and letting go, that is relaxation. It is the exact same thing, just a different word, a different label. But you simply cannot let go. You cannot achieve that state of true relaxation when you're constantly tripping over some trivial thought, when you're stumbling over every single random thought that pops into your head. For me to truly genuinely chill, I absolutely need to be in this specific mindset, this frame of mind, where I acknowledge, yeah, there are a million things I could be doing right now.